Welcome. It's time for the Tech Talk Show this afternoon with me, Kazim. And today we're going to be talking conversational AI with Microsoft Bot Framework. With Microsoft Bot Framework, I repeat. And I have Arafat Tehsin with me on the show today to do justice to today's topic. Hi, Arafat.
Hello, Kazim. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thanks.
So I think we should commence today's show with an introduction of yourself. So can you please let our listeners know a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Arafat Tehsin, and I'm based in Sydney, Australia. So it's like 10:30 p.m. right now over here. And yeah, we are way too ahead of you guys. So I'm a Microsoft MVP for AI, and I work for EY. So conversational AI has been my passion since I think past 5 or 6 years. So I've been associated with Microsoft Bot Framework every now and then, doing some as developing some bots as a hobbyist, or doing some professional work as in my day job work. So it has been super cool, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, more about me is I run a global AI podcast as well. So if any one of you is interested in learning about AI in general, please go to YouTube, just write Global AI the podcast, and definitely you'll see one of our links, if not all of them. If you are interested in learning about Azure, then you can also write Azure Sydney user group. So that will also take you to one of the videos which we are of our meetup. So we run our meetup as well. So these are all free stuff which you, as a listener or as a developer, or if not a developer, as an enthusiast to come to this learning path, you can train yourself, you can upskill yourself. And if you are interested in like one-to-one discussion with me, if you are a student, please feel free to give me a shout. My contact is super easy. Go to GitHub, write my Google, like just write my name on the Google, and I'm sure that you will be finding me very easily, because it's super unique name. So you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that's about me.
Okay, thank you very much for that introduction. So I want us to start, Arafat, by taking out all assumptions now. Let's pretend that most of our audience are alien to bots, right? So let's commence with definitions, Arafat. What is a bot, and what are the types of bots that we have out there?
Yeah, so first of all, this is a very broad question. And we must understand that why we are, in what context we are asking this question. So
Yes.
Broadly speaking, bots are the services which are powered by different rules, and those are the services which people interact with on their conversation apps or their messaging apps. So we normally, when we refer to bots, we normally refer them as a chat bot or a conversational bot. But there can be other bots as well. As I said, that these are just the services powered by some rules. So you must have heard about the bots which are injecting viruses on the PCs, which are doing some malicious work, and there are some other bots which are doing some helpful work for other professionals. They can be seen as, or they can be termed as processes, but they are doing more than that work. So they are intelligent enough, they are built in that way. So with regards to our discussion as a conversational AI discussion, bots are nothing but they are just services, so which are powered by different set of rules, which we as developer or the bot creators define them, and then people use them in their messaging apps.
Okay. Just to help the listeners, some of those who are completely alien to this now to help them understand this better. Yes, I know conversations sometimes can be complex, right? So please tell us what are the kind of challenges that conversational bots helps us to solve?
Yeah, so the time has come now that we have seen brilliant improvements and constructive improvements in this space. When I started working on this, specifically on this framework, bot framework, or other frameworks at that time, they were just addressing a couple of things. They were not able to address a lot of challenges, and I'll speak about those challenges in a bit. But now we have come to the point that those challenges have been addressed well. So what were those challenges? The first and foremost challenge was the understanding of the context. So the tools were there, but they were too difficult for anyone to use to incorporate the natural language understanding in their bots. So the natural language capability was not there. And since it was not there, so for a normal customer or a normal user or a user who is just coming for a customer support, used to get distracted because the bot at the other end was just asking for some commands. They were not really ready to understand the language. Nowadays, they have the power, like the bots have the power to understand the language and the context as well. And that is why the main challenge, what I see is being addressed over here, is the normal, or when I say normal, is like regular, frequently asked question bots. So there are a lot of organizations within Australia, even the government organizations and the postal organizations, or the post over here is using bots in front of their before their customers. So it's a bridge between their actual customer services staff and user, so that if customer wants to know just their tracking of an order or tracking of their parcel, or what is the status of this, are the stores open? So these kind of questions are perfectly addressed, and the complex part is still left with the humans. So these are the challenges: basic frequently asked questions, table reservations, bookings, food bots, deliveries, and all that. These are definitely addressed.
Okay. I know we have a number of developer community here on campus as well, and I'm sure some of the students will also be listening in. So I want to check what kind of bots can developers now build on Azure? Is it just the kind of bots that we can type to, those conversational bots, or can they also build a bot that we can speak to?
Good question. Yes, so this is a very good question. So when it normally, if we see the statistics right now, in past 3 or 4 years, we have seen a lot of voice bots coming up on the surface as well. And the reason for this is because there are smart speakers or smart assistant, Alexa, Google Assistant. So these devices, and like Google Assistant is, I think Nest has got these devices, Google Home has got those assistants, and Amazon Alexa, as I said. So as these assistants came up in the market, the voice bots or the voice skills have come up. Earlier, there was a boom of text bots. We normally say normal chat bot without voice, but now we have seen that since this boom has come up in the market and the applications, voice applications or voice first applications have come up, we can see that there are a lot of frameworks have come up. So now, to answer your question about Azure, definitely you can build the bots from the chat perspective, from textual to speech. The flexibility or the functionality is there. You can also surface your bot, not just within the Azure supported channels, but bot framework is super good in terms of build an extendable bot. So let's say, just giving you an example, that your university has got specific channel which is not there in Azure
Yeah.
yet, but they
Yeah.
do have a channel. So you can just write a custom adapter with your university for your university channel and just host it on Azure, and it will work seamlessly fine. So giving just an example on that, Google Assistant is not out of the box supported with Microsoft Bot Framework, but
Yeah.
there are bots which are written on Bot Framework, and I've written it myself. So by using the custom adapters, you can achieve that.
Okay, good. So it's great to know that you can surface the bots that you've built using Microsoft Bot Framework across other platforms, like you mentioned, Google, Amazon, Alexa, and others.
Yes.
Um, okay, very good then. I want to quickly check how easy is it, by the way, for anyone to build a bot on Azure? Do you necessarily have to be a developer, or is this something that the so-called citizen developers can also leverage? Is this something anyone can also choose
Yeah,
to
this
take
is
on?
another very good question. So, few days back, I was reading an article, not an article, but a report by Gartner that around 50% of the small to medium enterprises by 2023 will be incorporating low code application platforms to empower their people and as their strategy to grow up. And
Yeah,
looking at that, every company, every software giant has invested too much in it, and Microsoft is one of them, of course, and they have come up with the different tools. As you can see, Power Platform is one of them, and now Microsoft Bot Framework Composer is the latest offering or latest tool by Microsoft. It is super extensive, and you can build bots as if you are even not a developer, if you are a no code expert, let's say, if you are not a citizen developer,
yeah.
you can even build fantastic bot. What you need is the understanding of how the bots work. What you need is the understanding of how the best practices work, and definitely you can build a sophisticated bot without writing a code.
Okay. We're doing this now from a community radio station in a Lagos State University. So I'm just wondering now, how easy is it for us to automate the processes here using a bot? Is this something we can quickly do? How long do you think it's going to take if it's something we can do to begin with? For a radio station, I'm sure, they probably want to play some music every once in a while. There are times when they need to run, the newscast and things like that. Can we power this using a bot?
Yeah, sure. So there are a couple of things which you can definitely automate by playing as a like when you say we can play the music or we can play anything which we want, or we can ask a bot to do certain things, to schedule a meeting, to order a coffee as well.
Yeah,
Sure, you can do this, and there have been so many examples out there, even on the GitHub, not just by these companies, but people have done it and they have placed their code on the GitHub as well. So we have seen a couple of people, and I've seen one of the folks over here in Sydney they have done in their office that they have a coffee bot. So they get to know when their coffee machine is empty, when their coffee machine is full. They can schedule some meetings with their colleagues as well. So they have built a couple of fantastic stuff. Some of them are using for their checking in process. So you don't have to tap your finger or you tap your hand or tap your card. Just tell that I'm in to the bot, and bot will register your attendance. So yes.
okay, thank you. We'll need to go on a short break now, and we'll be back
Sure.
in just a little bit.
Sure.
welcome back. So it's still the Tech Talk Show this afternoon with me, Kazim, and I still have Arafat on the show with us to walk us through day on the show. So Arafat, you're welcome back once again. Let's proceed now. There was this something, I think it was a video I saw on YouTube, and I just want to quickly get your take on it. I saw someone saying, I built a bot to attend my live classes for me. And so, what's your take on that? I have somebody saying, but attend my online classes and, do some of the things for me in class. And all I have to do is just, log in at a later time. So I don't know, what's your the experts now? What's your take on that?
So this is, of course, this is a nasty stuff, I would say, but I would never want to do this myself. But the possibilities are there. So if there are goods, there are some things like these as well, and what it gives us an impression of is the capability, right? So what you can do with the bot. So if someone can attend a class on their behalf, like a bot can attend a class on their behalf, it means that the technology has become so powerful that it is capable of doing things like that. So now think about this, that there can be a surveillance done with the bot as well if bot is attending these things. So it can be used in a good ways as well if you want. But yeah, I would never want to attend a class like this. There are scenarios, but yeah.
Okay, Arafat. I know many people can build bots, including myself. I can easily, spin up a bot, but not a lot of people now can build a great bot. Suppose like you can, for instance. So for some of the developers listening right now, or people that might be rewatching this at a later time, I would like you to share some of the best practice, that they can always follow when they're looking to build their next bot, for example.
Yeah, so my advice to build the bot first is to install Bot Framework Composer. This is the tool which I would vouch for and which definitely I would recommend. Once you install this, just go to their documentation page, and on their documentation page there is a section called Composer Best Practices. So it's a one-pager document. If you read those best practices, of course it has some links to other docs as well, but it won't take, I don't think that it will take more than 2 hours of your time. But once you grasp that 2 hours of your knowledge, I'm definitely sure that you won't make a blunder in making a bot.
No, okay. I'm curious now, Arafat, what kind of languages can we code within the composer? You've mentioned the composer. Can someone who is used to Python or someone who does .NET, can they code a language of their choice using the composer? Or is there a particular language that they're restricted to? I know it's also a GUI tool, is a less code, right, tool.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to educate us a little bit more on this, yes.
Yeah, definitely. So bot framework, the framework itself is written with 4 different languages right now. So it supports 4 different languages. C#, .NET, like .NET, Node.js, where you write, JS, and Python, and it has a support for Java as well. For Composer, so Composer, you don't need to write any code, as I said. The only thing which you may have to write when you have to write is the syntax of language generation and other stuff. But Composer is built on the runtime, so it supports runtime actually. It is not built on, but it supports runtime. So right now, there are 2 runtime available. Number one is .NET, and the other one is Node.js. I think Node.js is in preview right now. I see that in my beta build. So the build I use is not the released build. It's not 100% secret. So you can go and also download that beta build. It's on their GitHub page. But why I use that, just to try out new things and just to see that what is coming up, so that I keep myself geared up. But yes, you don't need to know any language. If you are a Python developer, you can come in and start developing your bot.
Yeah, okay, okay. And what are the other tools now that the no-code people can leverage? Like I have a colleague here in the studio with me. She's probably thinking, can I? She's imagining it, in her head right now. That is this something I can do myself? So, do you want to share a tool that somebody with a zero knowledge of programming, can start to put to use?
Yeah, so definitely there are two tools which I would recommend. So first of all, there are different bunch of tools built on bot framework. Microsoft partners have built in to
Yes.
come up with their technology that they have branded their own tool on the top of bot framework, and they are making it super easy. Like
Yes.
Zamo is one of those. I know that they are building voice first solutions, super fantastic.
Yeah.
But if someone who does not have any knowledge, but he or
Yes.
she has those interest or those jumps of creating bots, they can
Yes.
definitely leverage two tools. One is Power Virtual Agents, which is a part of Power Platform. It is very simple,
Okay.
very cool,
Power
no use.
virtual agents. Yes.
Yes, and the other one is definitely Bot Framework Composer. It is a bit for sophisticated bots, but you can definitely start yourself with Power Virtual Agents. It is super easy, super cool.
Okay. Thank you very much. So Arafat just mentioned Power Virtual Agents and also the Bot Composer, you said?
Yeah,
Yes. So,
Bot
so
Framework
those are
Composer.
bot framework composer. So those are the two tools that you can look up. I would like us to demo something, Arafat, but unfortunately, we don't have times on our hands to do that. So I would want to let you speak to the developers, the student developer community here on campus now on what would be your advice to them, for those people looking to build a career in AI, leveraging conversational bot and all of that. What advice do you have for them, and where can they look up resources?
Yes, sure. So in order to build, if you first of all, if you are interested in this, you need to figure out that whether you are really interested in this. If you are interested in this, and if you are
Yes.
a student, so my advice is to go to Microsoft Learning portal. So there is a portal called microsoft.com/learn.
Yeah.
You go over there, just go over there and search for the AI, select the AI module, whole module, and start learning the whole module course. So you will have conversational AI, some other AI, cognitive services, and other stuff. If you get stuck anywhere, definitely my email address is super simple. My first name at outlook.com. So this is my email address, arafat@outlook.com. Just reach out to me if you are stuck somewhere. I'll be definitely happy to help you out. But Microsoft Learning Portal is the best place for someone who is just a beginner, who is from university and who wants to just get their career started in this way or in this field. If you are super good, if you prove yourself that you are super good, and you really want to go advance in that, contact me. I have got some other tracks for you, and I'll surely be giving you those tips on how to go further.
Okay. Thank you so much, Arafat, for joining me and for sharing your knowledge on today's episode of the show. So this is how much time we have on today's episode of the Tech Talk Wednesday. So be kind enough to follow us on YouTube so you can rewatch the previous episodes there.
Sure.
And I'm sure, Arafat has also shared his email address, he shared his handle so you can follow him. And if you have questions for him, I'm sure he's going to be kind enough to respond at your queries. So on this note, so we'd like to say goodbye. Or any last word from you, Arafat?
No, thanks a lot for having me, and it's good that now we have seen a lot of MVPs coming up and a lot of folks coming up from African region. This is super fantastic. It makes me happy.
Okay. Thank you very much, Arafat. So from myself, Arafat, and my producer, Omida, in the studio, it's bye-bye from us, and let's do this another time.